All right, guys. So welcome to the pre-challenge info webinar. This is a webinar for primarily two groups of people, but we have three groups of people on here today. So this is primarily for people that want to find out about our challenge, our next challenge, and about our program. The next challenge begins on Monday. And this is also for people that have already signed up and you want to ask any questions in terms of your preparation for challenge beginning on Monday. What we do have also, fortunately, is we have a couple of people who've joined who are on the challenge, on an existing challenge, and they're also here just to join to, refresh or to contribute something to the rest of you that have joined in. So we'll get started. And as a reminder, this is a recorded webinar. The webinar should last for about 40 minutes. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And this is specifically for you. So just feel as free and open as you please. All right. So Emma, you on as well?
Yeah, I'm on. I'm here.
All right.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, so Emma is one of our teammates. She's joining in from Valencia in Spain, and just seems that one of the other persons is downloading the app, but it seems to be slow for them, but they're joining. We'll, however, get started, and we will catch them up when they join. Okay, so, let's look at how we can begin to unravel a new you, and I will share with you our system, what causes results, and really how simple it is. But what I would say not the easy part is fulfilling on and staying in action, and that really varies from person to person and how determined they are to commit to transforming their health and really drawing a line under the status quo or the health and the lifestyle that they've been tolerating. So to kick off, I'd love to set context with a beautiful quote by this amazing spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama. And I love his quote because when he was asked what surprised him most, the Dalai Lama said, man, because he sacrifices his health in order to make money, and then he sacrifices money to recuperate his health. And that is very true for me too, and something that I experienced firsthand during my time of working in the city. And I was living a life that I thought was successful, but as I am about to share, you'll see the journey. You'll see the journey that I went through. If you can just give me 2 seconds, guys. There's somebody just joining in, and they're struggling. Okay, they should be on in a sec. Okay. So, and like I said, that was very true for me that I was living a life focused on earning a livelihood, and that was really at the expense of my life. So, just to talk a bit more about that, I'd love to go over very quickly, if that's okay with you, my journey from fat banker to fit banker, and really why I've got my skin in the game and a vested interest in what I'm doing and the difference and contribution that we're making to people. And my commitment is something that I won't compromise on for what my commitment is to people. So I'm always going to make myself available for participants on our program. So, a bit about me. I worked in the city here in London. I worked for this global organization called JP Morgan. I was what was called a vice president, and I lived this jet setting lifestyle. That image in the top right corner is not necessarily me, but I wasn't too far from there. I was 108 kilos, size 40. We used to have loads of fun, loads of parties, and that image below is an example of some of the fun that we used to have. That's obviously not exactly us, but not too far from the lifestyle and parties that we had. Okay, it's great. We've just got Tamana, who's also joined us. So Tamana, welcome to the webinar and thank you for joining us. If you'd like to say anything, you need to unmute yourself. So I'm just sharing my journey. We've already started, and it's a recorded webinar of my journey from fat banker to fit banker. So while I was living this life of a so-called successful career, working with JP Morgan, I thought I was living what was called success, and I was living what life is all about. When what actually turned out living that lifestyle was this guy. So I ended up being this fat banker, and this is who I was, and I guess I was able to hide how I really felt about myself, or the missing workability in my health or my body behind beautiful brand of a company that I worked for, a lovely title like vice president, a lovely six-figure salary, and I guess somewhat hiding things behind my at least to me was funny sense of humor. And unfortunately, uh, while I was living this so-called peak of my lifestyle, we would go and live what the lifestyle would afford. And I remember this was in 2013. We were in Edinburgh at the Fringe Festival. Now, those of you that may have been or heard of Fringe Festival, it's a gathering of the world's best talent, comedians, performers, artists, all get together across Edinburgh. And there is this one of the largest open festivals that happens in anywhere in the world, and we're there to have fun and joy, and we're celebrating two things. We're celebrating my wife's birthday. It was August 2013, and we're also celebrating that we are 3 months pregnant, expecting our first baby, and life couldn't have been better, and the future ahead of us was amazing. However, while we were there having the so-called time of our life, everything took a 180-degree turn as we began the onset of a miscarriage. And we lost our baby, and it was very painful for us. And it was a moment where we were both questioning, why is this happening to us? What's wrong with us? Why do we deserve this? And of course, over time, we've come to terms with it, and we've since had a baby. We just had a baby who's now about 4.5 weeks old, and it's taken us 3 years though, and it's taken a lot of owning our life and our health. But when this happened, the pain was quite immense. And the following day, I remember I was stressing as a result, and I had these heart palpitations, and I ended up in A&E. And I ended up undergoing a whole host of tests. I had ECG stress tests, a whole host of blood tests, checkups, and certain medication was being offered to me. And I was there all night. And while I was there, my wife was next to me. And I remember telling her, honey, just go home and go to sleep and I'll be okay. And she said, no, I'm not going there. And I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning having lost another one. And so she sat there by my bedside. She was dozing off. I remember looking down at her, and I got really connected to myself. One, first of all, filled with gratitude that I have in my life, but I got very clear for myself that I didn't want to live a life that was dependent on this medical system, that was a life where I frequented doctors and checkups and tests, and I was a lab rat per se. And the second thing I got really clear for myself is that I could do something about it. I could draw a line under, and I can do something about it. So I started doing a host of research. I tried multiple diets. I tried suppressing my food intake. I tried fasting. I tried various exercises, very intense exercises. Many of them were quite painful. A lot of them caused injury, which some of which I still have to now. Because if we overtrain in the wrong way, then we can cause injury, especially if we are overweight. And I was overweight, and I was running with that. And I started recording and sharing my journey on Facebook. So if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, if you go under my photo album, you'll see this album called Health and Fitness Diary. And in there are all these photos and many more that I was sharing and recording. And you can see my weight from January 2014. I was at about 16 stone, but at the peak I was at 17 stone. And from 17 stone, I came down to about 12 stone. So I came down from 108 kilos down to 76.5 kilos. And that was partway through that. I was on Facebook one day, and I see these guys doing this 90-day body transformation challenge. They were doing it for fun. They said, would you like to join? And these guys are multimillionaire, successful entrepreneurs. I joined them and I ended up winning that challenge. What turned out in 90 days is the guy on the right. And after that, for the next month, month and a half, 2 months, 3 months, I kept losing weight and I got to 76.5 and I reduced my fat percentage to 5.9%, which was really awesome, really humbling. And I was blown away and very grateful that this had worked and that the psychology of a challenge was phenomenal. It kept me in action, that I was surrounded by people that were also doing it. So I was inspired every day looking at what they were posting and sharing to be in action myself. And that sense of accountability really kept me going. What happened is after that, it was unexpected, but what when I won this challenge led to a flurry of queries and questions and people wanting to know how I did this. And we had a webinar and we had launched what we called FITBANKER. So it's for people, obviously, it's a play on me from Fat Banker to Fit Banker, my journey, but really to get that people bank on us being fit. So this is for people that really want to bank on their fitness because that is our ultimate true wealth. And everything that we do and the people that we live for in this world, we are quite worthless if we are not our optimal ability and our optimal health. And that's why we really, what we exist for people that get that not just them, but others bank on them being fit. And hence the name Fit Banker. So we've now been around for close to about 18 months now. Our first challenge started in January 2015. And this challenge that's starting on Monday, we will now soon cross into 2 years. And we've coached hundreds of people online, close to 200 people online across 15 countries, as young as 16-year-old and as old as 71-year-old. And the records have been amazing. We've had people lose in 90 days. This is Dr. Tisha Patel, but we've had the male record of 20 kilos lost in 90 days. There's another gentleman, Andrew Walker. And I always tell people that when I get to transform your health, I get you to go and be your best in whatever you do. Andrew Walker is somebody that is an actor with Priscilla, the show, the theatrical, and now he's got back into his acting. Talking of acting, here's another actor or actress, which is uh, Alyssa and Ellie. She's gotten as well after having lost 11 and a half kilos in the first challenge. She went on to do another challenge and she's got back into her passion and hobby, which is acting. These guys are who I call the fit doctors. They're both doctors from Florida. They used to travel the US every year. They do this big health awareness drive and they drive from Florida to New York and they would go and talk to people about health. And I saw them, I met them here. They came to give a TED talk, and somebody said, "You must connect to this guy called FitBanker." So they reach out to me, and we get chatting. And I said, "Look, do my program, and I will coach you." And I gave them some advice and tips of what to take on. And they listened to me. After a week or two, they started seeing results, and they signed up to challenge last year. And by June last year, this was done. The gentleman on the left, Dr. Sijo, lost 53 pounds. The other guy lost 30 something pounds. And now they get to look like and be the ambassadors of their work, which is very humbling, and that they get to be their best. We also specialize in vegan and vegetarian meals. This is an example of one of our vegan clients, Rebecca. She went on to lose, in fact, after this, 17 kilos. This is another person from South Africa. Him and his wife got to transform. But while we've got these and many more phenomenal results, there are three of my favorite stories that are testament to us being true to transforming health. And amongst them is this one. This is Manisha from the US, from Virginia. She signed up after a lot of hesitation and concern about the price. She said, "I think it's a bit too costly for me. I have a lot of expenses going on now." And I spoke to her, I said, "But what are your expenses?" And she shared them with me. And I said, "What if I could reduce the amount that you're spending on junk food, on alcohol, on all these little so-called treats, and above all, medication?" She just had a baby. She was diagnosed as pre-diabetic, and she was about to be termed type 2 diabetic. So that's her on the left. I said, "Trust me on this." She signs up to the program, and she couldn't have been happier. Within a month, under a month, she was told she's no longer pre-diabetic. She was told she's no more at risk of being type 2 diabetes. Her doctor had to test her twice because he was surprised what had happened. And she just shared a post with us, almost in tears, about how she just gets to be around for her 3 children because her doctor said she wouldn't be around for more than 10 years with her current lifestyle. Lady on the left here, somebody was a young mom, and after having a baby, she had put on a lot of weight and she couldn't lose her weight. And they were trying for a second baby, but they were struggling, and they decided to go the IVF route. And even then, the doctor said we couldn't start her on IVF process till she lost some weight. So she tried every pill, potion, diet, and exercise regime out there, and it took a whole year. She only lost about 3 kilos. She went to the IVF clinic, and the doctor said, "You're still overweight." So she reaches out to us, signs up to our program, and in 90 days, she loses 12.8 kilos. It took her a year previously to lose 3. With us, she lost 12.8 kilos. And today, I can say she's proudly a mum of, I think, they're 4-month-old twins now. And she was able, by week 10 of her program, she was able to start her IVF process. And now she's a mum of 3. And this one is one of my favorite ones. This is my old man. I call him Dad, and he signed up to the program when he came to visit me on what he thought was holiday. And day 2 that he was here, we went to the gym, put them on the scales, checked their fat percentage, and I sat them down and I said, "Listen, Dad, I never got to know my grandfather, and none of us have kids yet, but I would love for our kids to know what grandfather is. So my invite for you is to play a long haul game, to be around for them." And I sat him down an in-depth conversation about him transforming his health. He had high cholesterol, high BP. He was 90 kilos, and he's only like 5'6". And he started the program, and he went from 90 kilos down to 73 kilos. And now he's come further down. A year on, he's kept that lifestyle, and he's now down to 71 kilos. So more than 20% of my dad has been rehomed, and he's a lot more energetic, he's a lot more vibrant, he's a lot more up to life, and now he's a grandfather. And he didn't know his own grandfather. I didn't know mine because we have a poor lifestyle record as a family. And now we've got to interrupt that, and Dad becomes the first grandfather in 3 generations. Okay, so what are we and what are we not? So this FitBanker Challenge, effectively, we're an education program. And what we're doing is we're providing you education. And a lot of what we provide isn't rocket science. It isn't some top secret. There isn't some big reveal. But it's stuff that I think everyone should know, but we've just not been presented this information in this manner, in a timely manner. And it really lands for people that know now is the time for me to transform my health, because you're at a point where you're feeling like you can't control it. I mean, I took on my transformation where no matter what I ate, after I ate, I felt really bloated, I felt fatigued, and I just needed to relearn or know what will really make a difference, as well as remove a lot of the myths that are formed in my mind. So we also coach on a lot of the myths that we create ourselves by misinterpreting information presented to us. What we are not is we're not a gym. While I am a personal trainer and nutritionist, I'm not really offering that advice. I'm offering you the education and a list of habits and actions to take. And taking those is what causes results. Nothing else causes the results. The program doesn't do you, and I can't do you. You have to be in action. You have to be in communication. You have to be sharing with us. And when you struggle, share that too. Because the way to be a perfect fit banker is to be okay with your imperfections, your struggles, your lack of progress, or whatever shows up for you, and that's what has you discover your greatness. We also have a couple of participants who've already done the program or on it, and they will share what they're learning as well. So what do we coach on? When we coach on the muscles we coach, and we don't just coach on your physical muscles, we coach on groups of muscles, what I call spiritual muscle, our mental muscle, our emotional muscle, our physical muscle. What do I mean by this? I'll give you a couple examples. So mental is, you need to understand the numbers and the technical knowledge that is being presented to you, like calories and macros and how long it takes to burn and what are the most efficient foods to eat. Emotional, a lot of us have a relationship to food that's formed based on, if I say champagne, what comes to mind? You might think party or celebration. If I say cake, you will think, party or happy birthday. And all those events where we've consumed these types of foods have formed an emotional relationship with them. And we now consume those foods as a way of rewarding our brain. What we do is we rewire your relationship to certain foods that are actually adding value to you. And spiritual muscle, create a big game for why you're around. I'm around to transform 1 billion lives. That's the game I've created. So I have to be healthy and continually being the being that is going to inspire others to be in action, because it's human nature to lose enthusiasm, to be discouraged, to be demotivated. And I have to continually stay true to my purpose and my vision, my what we call our greater why. And when you sign up to the program, we ask you, what's your greater why that you want to do this? Maybe you want to inspire your dad into transforming his health. Maybe you want to be around longer for your kids or attend your great grandkids' wedding. Whatever it is, discover your purpose why. Be connected to that at a spiritual level and use that to continually inspire you to be in action, to overcome the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, the tiredness, the fatigue, the lack of motivation that keeps showing up for you daily. And finally, obviously, is the physical. So we will be coaching you on various exercise, and we do provide you with training programs, meal plan ideas, and there are weekly webinars. So what really causes results? So we have people who join the program, and I'll be honest with you, not everybody, you know, it doesn't work for everybody. So this isn't for everyone. This is for people that are clear that they do want to transform their health. This is people that do want to, say, either lose weight or want to stop their fatigue and increase energy, or want to increase their strength. So if you're in one of those categories and you're clear that you want to draw a line under the status quo, then this is for you. My invite to you, though, is if you're taking on our program, do our program by its design, right? The thing you can do to make it hard for you is to come on doing what you already know to do, because consider that if you knew what to do, you wouldn't be signing on to transformation programs. So trust the system. It's worked for hundreds, and it's going to work for thousands and millions and billion ahead of you. So please trust the system. Second thing, one thing we're big on is what we call declaration and sharing. You know, social media has become a place where fake news is being spread, where people moan, where people complain, where people go and lose a lot of their day and their time. And sometimes I'm culprit to that, looking at other people's photos and what's going on. So I thought, if you spend so much time on social media, how about we use it as a place to provide positive content and inspire others? So the first thing we do is you have to post a before photo, just like I did. And when you post that before photo to our public page, you're making a declaration to people that follow our page and to your community that might see your photo as well, saying, guys, I am done. I'm transforming. I'm doing this program because I am done tolerating the life and the low energy that I've been having. So if that's something you want, you share your declaration, which is your greater why that you're doing this. And throughout the program, we invite people to share. Why? Because we believe, and this is part of our spiritual muscle development, that when you say you're up to something, you declare it and you put it out there, that what you say, and if you operate with integrity and you stay in action and focus to your vision, then it shows up in reality. And one guy that demonstrated that as an example amongst many is Muhammad Ali. All the greatest people say what they're going to do before they go and do it. You know, Obama said that at the last in 2008. He said, "Yes, we can," and in 2016 he said, "Yes, we did," as a demonstration of what he caused in 8 years. Muhammad Ali said that, "I'm the greatest," and he said that before even I knew I was, and that made him the greatest, and we referred to him as the greatest. Third thing that really works is you're joining a new community. So think that right now you're surrounded by people whose lifestyle is, come on, just have this one dessert. Let's go out and eat at this restaurant. Let's have some alcohol. Come on, don't be boring. And you become the average of the 5 people that you spend most time with. That's a quote by Jim Rohn. And I'm not asking you to ditch your friends, but I'm saying if you are taking actions in a circle of friends where you are not adding value to your life or your health or your body, then my invite to you is to surround yourself with 5 greater people that will uplift you. And on this community, this online group, you get to join people that are totally up to that every single day. I mean, we have Emma here who last year, she didn't know of us, but one of her New Year's resolutions, we found out at the end of the year that she wrote down somewhere, again, the power of declaration, that this year, 2016, I want to lose 20 kilos. In December, she was at a retreat with us and she was looking up her resolutions that she wrote. And she was like, wow, I wrote down lose 20 kilos. And by end of the year, she had lost 20 kilos. And now Emma is part of our team. She supports us predominantly on a voluntary basis to really make a difference to other people out there. So she's in Valencia, Spain, but we get to connect globally with hundreds of lives all over because of the difference we're making, and Emma is aligned with the contribution that we're making to people. The fourth is very simple: goal setting and planning. A lot of us know what to do, we just don't get down to doing it. So it's as simple as on a Sunday, you say to yourself, you write down in your diary, you schedule in fixed times. Every Monday morning, 9 a.m., I'm going for that body pump class. Every Thursday evening, I'm going to do body combat. Every Wednesday lunchtime, I'm going for that spinning class. Put that in your diary and then just show up. Just show up. Just show up. Every Tuesday evening is my webinar, and Tuesday evening you'll be on the webinar. So it's as simple as that. You declare and put a plan for what you're going to do and make that priority of your life. What will transform in your life is all going to be a byproduct of the new habits, the new commitments that you create, and the new places that you show up to. So that's really my invite to you. Put in a plan and follow that plan. The fifth one is accountability. Now, this is very important for people that are already on the program. If you're on the program, or if you're the one that signed up and you're starting on Monday, then you need to set this up. So a couple of apps that we use a number of apps, but two of the ones that we're going to talk about now is accountability. What I mean by accountability is not that someone gets to hold you accountable, as in blame or point at you for being responsible for something that went wrong. But I mean, like, being a banker, myself, an ex-banker, we were always accountable for our taxes. And every beginning of the year, I would submit a self-assessment. And I would tell the HMRC how much money I made, how much I spent, and therefore how much tax I owe. And why we did that for money, we do that for our piggy bank, we do that for our cash in our life, but we don't do that for our bodies. We never count for what we put in terms of calories or what we spend. So what we're doing on this program, we're bringing that, but with different content. So Runkeeper is an app that you should download. And on there, we also are now introducing some monthly challenges called the FITBANKER Running Club. And you record every time you go for a walk or a run. And if you're already on the program, make sure your GPS is active so that you do that. Please add us as a user. Go to friends and add FitBanker so that we're connected. Also on MyFitnessPal, that's where you record everything you eat. And on there, again, add me as FitBanker. One of the tweaks you have to make is under goals, goal setting, go to your macro goals or calorie and macro goals and adjust the following things. Adjust your protein goal to 30%. It might be default at 20, and your carbs might default at 50, but make your carbs 40, make your fats 30, and make your proteins 30. Also set up your age, your current weight, and your target weight, and put a goal to lose 1 kilo a week if you're on a weight loss program. If you're on a weight maintain program, put the goal of losing 0.5 kilos a week. Or if you already reached your target weight, you can now adjust that goal to say, I now want to lose 0.5 or 0.25 so that you actually maintain. And then we will give you assignments each week where you get to record certain foods and you get to ascertain how long it takes you to burn, say, 500 calories or 300 calories. And then you'll start forming in your mind this subconscious relationship between, wow, that one ice cream I had, or which is only 150 grams, or that one serving of broccoli, which is 200 grams, is so many more calories of ice cream and so much less of broccoli, yet they both fill me. So now I'm going to start making wiser choices, wiser decisions. So that's the new relationships to food we start forming over our program. And ultimately, what we also do, or what we're about, this is a photo from Tough Mudder. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of or done Tough Mudder. It's an obstacle course race. It's something I've now done about 3 times. And having done it, one thing I learned is this is the best analogy of leadership. So this obstacle is called the pyramid scheme, and it entails people getting at the bottom, lifting people above on their shoulders. They then form the next layer of lifting the next batch of people to push them to the top. And when people get to the top, we push people ahead of us to get to their best, and then they play the role of uplifting us and pulling us up to our greatness. So part of our sharing is, if you love what you're hearing today, I invite you to be the person at the top and pull a couple of friends to join you in on this challenge. And people here who've done the challenge before get phenomenal results, and they can't believe that they were stuck in this area of life before, feeling helpless. And they've invited people onto their program. So my invite for you is, this is leadership, that you get to be the being that is leader and setting an example, and you get to uplift others around you. It is, after all, why we exist. So that's really what I wanted to share for you today. And if there are any questions, please let me know. There'll be a little something we'll offer, but my invite that I want to leave each of you, whether you would like to join the challenge or not, is be the change you wish to see in the world. So thanks all for being on. I have unmuted you all. Are there any questions or comments?
Fantastic webinar, FITBANKER. Wise words.
Thank you so much, Marzina. Was anything that came up for you? Any questions?
Not as many questions as answers as well, because I've been in this health, and fitness industry on and off.
Yeah.
And came back to it, and I can relate to what you said. I know the reasons of us getting bloated, and having all sorts of major health problems due to wrong, not only nutrition but cooking as well.
Yeah, true.
And I can explain how all those nasty diseases like cancer, diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer are getting into our body without us realizing it. Or I was like we are signing involuntary, death sentence on us, and that's the reason of many miscarriages as well. But I know how those things work, and I can explain to you on another occasion.
Awesome.
But yes, it's all about health. So I can relate to everything. I know why we are getting bloated sometimes. I know why we are getting cravings.
Yeah.
After eating meal, after half an hour, we are feeling hungry again. It shouldn't be like this.
Indeed.
But this is just because we are losing vital minerals and vitamins in the cooking process. Yeah.
Indeed.
So yes, so I'm very, I'm on the same wavelength with you, and we could cooperate. Yes.
Awesome. Lovely to hear that, because we do coach a lot on that, on how to prepare food, how small tweaks we can make to the food that we already eat. Sorry?
I'm up for the challenge. I used to do bodybuilding in the past.
Oh, wow.
So I believe in protein diets as well. I know they are not too good because they ruin kidneys, but it's the fastest way of losing unwanted, fat if someone really wants.
Indeed. No, thank you so much for sharing that. And it is a lot of what we cover, and in more depth across the program and over the webinars. And even the meal ideas that we provide have been created with a consideration of achieving the macro balance that we suggest, which is about 30% protein and still 40% carbs, but we'll alter that.
Is it true, Banker? Is it right if I say that the first meal should be protein in the day? It can be like a protein shake?
No, not necessarily. What we also focus on, something that is missing in the fitness industry, is a focus on timing. And what I mean by timing
is mixing food as well, I heard.
Yeah, well, it depends on
what food to eat, at what time, and in what combinations.
Correct. So we say that depending on the time that you have most activity, or what activity you've got planned for the day, based on that, you need to factor in what your meal comprises. So if you're going to have a day with a lot of activity, you will have something that is slightly higher in low glycemic index carbs before that activity. And if you've done an intense workout, it's after your workout that your muscles begin to rebuild, and when you rest. Therefore, you need protein after that. And there are various
types of after both, right?
Sorry?
So it's both. You need proteins before the workout and afterwards, you are saying?
Yeah, no, we don't recommend protein before the workout, if you're going for a morning workout, as an example. But of course, if you
because on those protein shakes, on those boxes, it's written just have one before the workout and then another one afterwards.
Yeah, so we do coach on that. A lot of the protein shakes aren't only protein, and a lot of them contain a lot of sugar. So we also recommend which ones to take, because there's a lot of junk in the market. So we recommend something else, which is pre-workouts and BCAAs for before and during. But we recommend protein for after, because that's when the rebuild makes sense for it to happen.
Right. What, in your opinion, what protein is better, whey protein or plant proteins?
If you're a vegetarian and you're okay with milk, then whey protein, what's called whey protein isolate, is the fastest absorbing protein that our bodies have. Plant proteins are also good, especially we do have a lot of vegans who do our program, and for them we recommend plant protein. And for that, pea protein is one of the good ones. Some people also have an intolerance to lactose, where it causes bloating, and so for them as well, we recommend vegan proteins like pea or hemp or soya. Yeah.
Good to know, because I heard opinion that we shouldn't be touching, dairy products at all.
Yeah.
For many reasons, they cause cancer. That's one view, right? But at the same time, they are not for humans. That milk, I mean, cow's milk, this is for cows.
Correct.
And there are babies.
Yeah.
We may as well drink like cat milk or something.
Yeah.
At the same time,
there is a lot
soya, it's quite dangerous for some people to consume soya, because soya has got negative effects, and so, it's like to each their own. We've got different bodies, and, someone may agree with whey, someone may agree with plants. Hemp protein, for example, is hemp protein good?
Yeah, hemp is good, but it's a low percentage. It's about 50% protein content.
It's not good. I mean, it's not good if it's better whey protein, I think, is best.
Yeah, so what we do is we discuss all that you're saying. There are a lot of opinions and views out there, so we share with you how you can discover what is right.
They say one thing, the following day they contradict,
Yeah, so but we share with you how you can make your own decision, and there's a whole webinar we cover on myths and how you can bust those myths so that you're not influenced by others' opinion, but you find out for yourself.
That's right. Yes, I'm up for the challenge.
Awesome. Tamana, any questions? You just have to unmute yourself from your end. Okay, not sure if you're struggling or whatever, but please do try. If you have any question, feel free to unmute yourself. As always, guys, we have a surprise that we always have on our webinars, a little bonus, and thank you for joining. Challenge starts on Monday. The full price of the program is $600, and I think the online price is about $3 something, and it rises as we get close to the start of the program. So we are offering a prize for today, and you can access it if you take a screenshot. And if you'd like to join for £209, basically about a third the price of what it is online. And we only do this exclusive for webinars, and it's limited code. So if you would like to take this up, then this is something that you can use to sign up. Taman, I see you've unmuted yourself. Any questions from your end?
Yes, I'm having one question.
Yeah.
And how about taking eggs in our diet?
Yeah, eggs is fine. Eggs is fine, ideally in boiled format, and also up to a certain amount. Eggs do have a certain amount of cholesterol, so you do want to take it within your macro allowance. And so, in your meal ideas, if you're somebody that has eggs, then we will include that as an option for you to take.
How many in a day?
Well, it just depends on you meeting your macro goals. So depending on your body weight, I'll give you this for protein. You want to consume, if you're for men, it's between 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. So if you weigh, as an example, 80 kilos, you want to be consuming between 120 to 160 grams of protein. So you will get that from different sources. So if you want to get that from eggs, from milk, from soya, from a protein supplement, you want to calculate how much of the eggs is actually protein. So about 20-something% of that is protein content. And the downside with eggs or many of the other natural sources, or while all the natural sources, you should get as much from them as possible, they don't come alone as protein. They also come with added fat or added cholesterol or added sodium. So you want to make sure that you're not over consuming on that macros that are unnecessary or that exceed your budget. That's why we supplement, because supplementation is simply It may derive it from eggs or from milk or from soya, but it's extracting only the protein part. So the supplements even that we recommend are those that are most natural, and there's not a lot of additives that has a negative impact to you.
Oh, thank you, FITBANKER.
Yeah, so I know people that consume up to between 6 and 10 eggs a day for people that have a very intense regime, but you could even have between 2 and 4.
Fine, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, excellent. Any other questions or comments, Emma or Gozi?
No, I'm good.
No,
Thanks,
nothing
Ronnie.
from me, Ronnie.
All right, excellent. I hope it was also just worth your time refreshing and listening to this as well.
Yeah, it was really good. Thanks, Ronnie. It just kind of reminded me why I was here and why I'm doing this. So, definitely. And ready to rock and roll for the next, how many days do I have left? I think 50 days.
Yeah,
So something like
you've
that.
got just under 50 now. So,
Just under 50, right? Yeah.
and how's it been for you so far? Just share what your experience has been for the other people listening in.
So, I mean, it's a bit different for me because I didn't come on to like lose weight per se. I came to kind of reduce my body fat because when last time I met with Ronnie, even though if you look at me, I don't look overweight at all. I look very much in my average, a good healthy weight. But my body fat percentage was really high. It was like, I think close to 40%, something like that, and which was like really alarming. So I think I discussed it with Ronnie, and the aim is to reduce it by half to go down to 20.
Yep.
I don't actually have the results on me right now to where it's gone down to, but I'm about 3.4 kilos lighter than I was when I started.
Amazing.
So I've been quite on a really kind of medium, of a bit of a slow. I'm not trying to lose a lot of weight. I'm just trying to cut down my body fat. So I think for me, it's slightly different to most people who are on the program who are coming for weight loss.
Yeah.
But one thing I can say is through doing all the like exercises, through accounting for what I eat, it definitely makes food choices a lot easier now because, like you said in your presentation, like, you want to go for something and you realize actually I can be full on something that's much healthier and will nourish my muscles and my body. And the more you get used to that, the more your body wants that. It doesn't want the crap. So yeah, it's really good.
Awesome. No, thanks a lot for sharing that. And what will alter your composition, Ghazi, as a reminder, is you're minimizing the junk that you're consuming that converts to storage as fat. And as you work out more, you can actually increase your intake of good fats. You can increase your intake of proteins, and you must hit your protein goals. And you can have the low glycemic index carbs. So everything is playing a very value-adding role inside of your body and inside of your routine. And there is no space for junk to fill the space. So the slight weight loss that you have of 3.4 kilos, assume is some of the bad fats burning. And before time passes, my invite to you is really get that fat percentage checked again, so you know exactly where you are. And you can either order that scale, or you can come visit us and you can test it with us, or you can go to a booth and do that.
I'll visit you guys next week. I think I will come visit you guys next week and test it with you guys, so at least it's documented through the same process like we did. So I think I will come down and do that.
Awesome. Feel free to, and come and see the baby as well.
Yay. Thanks,
All right.
Ronnie.
Thanks. Okay, so Marzina and Tamana, this is for you if you'd like to sign up. Are there any questions around the challenge?
No, Ronnie, no.
I've got no questions, but I've got to find time for everything. That's the only question I've got for myself.
Okay. If you want to have a call after this, just drop me a message on Facebook and I can have a chat with you.
Let's say one more thing, Ronnie. I don't get paid to say this, guys, but one thing that's been really helpful for me on this is the amount of support, and that I get through everyone who's on the program, past and present, plus Ronnie and the team and Emma as well. Like, they are there 24/7, like throughout the whole thing. So, if you're thinking about it, just go for it. like your life will not be the same. You know, it's been for me just over 40 days, but it's really changed how I view food, how I nourish myself, how much more I love my body and want to look after my body. So yeah, go for it, guys. And I don't get paid to say that, by the way. Just so you know.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ghazi. Just lovely to hear. All right, guys. So we're going to end the webinar here. And whether you choose to sign the program, if you have any further queries, please reach out to me directly and we can get on a call one-to-one. But whatever you choose, please, I invite you guys to be the change you wish to see in the world and be leaders in whatever you do, making a difference to this world. Thanks all for being on.
Can I just
Yes,
can I just quickly say something, Ronnie, before we leave?
Yes, please do.
Okay, yeah. So just to reiterate what Ghazi said, you know, we are. I've never been in such a powerful online community. I think we're about 180 members in the FITBANKER closed community, and it is incredible. I know for sure that without that community and that support, there's no way that a year later, I'm just now a year of being in the FITBANKER community, that I would never have reached my goals. I was plugging away, trying to plug away on my own to reach my goals, and I never got there. I either, you know, fluctuated with my weight, even though I was, you know, doing workouts and things. Obviously, my nutrition wasn't there, and you know, without it's really big about changing your mindset, and it is so valuable. And we will support you, like every single person that we stand for in the community, 110%. And if you fall, if you've got a concern, if you need something, we are there 110% every single day. And I can just say, you know, when I registered a year ago, I just completely threw my hat over the wall and went for it, because I really didn't know what I was letting myself in for, and I've never regretted any minute of it.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Emma. And, you know, as we always say, that when you join the challenge, it's not really a new client for us. It is just us growing our family. So if this is something you'd love to join, we'd be more than delighted to welcome you to the family. And, you know, please always reach out if anything health related. You can always message our Facebook page and we'll be able to support you if anything. All right. Thanks all for being on. And those of you starting the challenge Monday, those of you that are listening and recording, thank you so much for your time and your attention. And let's, you know, look forward to creating an awesome transformation, an awesome life ahead. All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Good night.
Bye.
All the best.
Thank you.